Summary of Factfulness, 10 Reasons We're Wrong About the World and Why Things Are Better Than You Think by Hans Rosling. Hans Rosling's Factfulness is a revelatory book that aims to transform the way we view the world. Combining decades of experience as a medical doctor, public health expert, and global educator, Rosling addresses one fundamental issue: humans are overwhelmingly wrong about the state of the world. From global poverty to population growth, people, regardless of their education or background, tend to cling to outdated and overly pessimistic ideas. In this book, Rosling sets out to debunk those misconceptions, teaching readers how to approach global issues with a fact-based, optimistic, and pragmatic worldview. At the heart of Factfulness is the idea that the world is improving in many ways, even if it doesn't feel like it. Rosling doesn't suggest that everything is perfect, but he emphasizes that acknowledging progress is vital to solving remaining challenges. Using engaging storytelling, stunning statistics, and a dash of humor, he identifies 10 cognitive instincts that skew our perception of reality. These instincts, such as the fear of bad news, our tendency to divide the world into binaries, and the appeal of dramatic narratives, warp our understanding and lead us to make poor decisions. The world is better than you think. Rosling begins by highlighting how wrong we are about global progress. Most people believe the world is divided into developed and developing countries, assuming vast gaps in living standards, education, and wealth. However, this dichotomy no longer holds. Today, the majority of the world's population lives in what Rosling calls the middle, on income levels between $2 and $32 a day. Terms like third world are not only outdated but actively misleading. For example, global poverty has fallen dramatically over the past 2 centuries. In 1800, more than 85% of the world lived in extreme poverty, but today, that figure is less than 10%. Similarly, life expectancy has improved from just 30 years in the 1800s to over 70 years today, thanks to advances in healthcare, sanitation, and technology. These trends are just 2 of many that Rosling uses to show how much the world has changed for the better. The 10 instincts that mislead us. Rosling outlines 10 cognitive instincts that prevent people from seeing the world as it truly is. Each instinct distorts our understanding, making the world seem scarier, more divided, and less hopeful than it is. Below is a detailed explanation of these instincts. The gap instinct. Humans instinctively divide the world into us versus them categories, such as rich versus poor, developed versus developing. Reality: most people live in the middle of the income spectrum, on what Rosling calls level 2 to 8 day or level 3 832 day. The extremes represent a minority. The negativity instinct: bad news sticks in our minds more than good news, leading us to believe the world is getting worse. Reality: child mortality rates, extreme poverty, and illiteracy have fallen drastically. Yet, incremental progress is rarely reported. The straight line instinct. We assume trends, like population growth, will continue in a straight line forever. Reality: population growth is leveling off. As countries develop and women gain access to education and contraception, birth rates decline. The fear instinct. Our brains are wired to respond strongly to dramatic, fear-inducing events like terrorism, natural disasters, and pandemics. Reality: while these events are real, they are less frequent and less deadly than they used to be. For instance, deaths from natural disasters have dropped due to better preparedness. The size instinct. Big numbers, like 4 million children die annually, sound overwhelming. Reality: context matters. When compared to 14 million deaths annually in 1950, today's numbers show vast improvement. The generalization instinct. We oversimplify by stereotyping entire regions, such as viewing all of Africa as poor and undeveloped. Reality: countries within regions differ significantly. For example, Kenya and South Africa have vastly different levels of development. The destiny instinct. We believe cultures and societies are static, destined to remain as they are. Reality: change is constant. Cultures evolve as education, technology, and economies develop. The single perspective instinct. We tend to view issues through one lens, such as economic or political ideologies. Reality: solving global problems requires multiple perspectives and integrated solutions. The blame instinct. We look for scapegoats when things go wrong, blaming specific people, companies, or governments. Reality: problems are often systemic and complex, requiring nuanced approaches to address them. The urgency instinct. We feel pressured to act immediately in the face of perceived crises. Reality: most issues, like climate change, require thoughtful long-term solutions, not rash decisions. Lessons for thinking factfully. Rosling provides readers with tools to counteract these instincts and adopt a more accurate worldview. Seek data over drama, don't rely on headlines, instead, look at long-term trends and statistics. Break down stereotypes, avoid simplistic labels like rich or poor. Think of people as lives on a spectrum. Stay curious, be open to learning and challenging your assumptions. Practice humility, accept that no one has all the answers, and that the world is too complex for oversimplified solutions. Key global trends highlighted in the book. Extreme poverty. Today, fewer than 10% of people live in extreme poverty, compared to 85% in 1800. Population growth. The global population will likely stabilize at 11 billion by the end of the century as birth rates decline. Global health. Vaccination campaigns and improved sanitation have reduced child mortality to historically low levels. Education and gender equality. More girls are attending school worldwide, and many countries are achieving gender parity in education. Technology and infrastructure. Access to electricity, the internet, and mobile phones is transforming lives, even in remote areas. Why optimism matters. Factfulness is not about ignoring problems but recognizing progress. Rosling argues that seeing the world accurately inspires hope and motivates us to address challenges effectively. By understanding global trends, we can combat cynicism, fear, and apathy. For example, realizing that global poverty has decreased can encourage us to redouble our efforts to eliminate it entirely. Rosling ends the book with a powerful message: the world can be both bad and better. Acknowledging progress does not mean ignoring remaining issues. Instead, it provides the clarity needed to tackle them. Factfulness is a guide to thinking clearly about the world, rejecting fear-driven narratives, and embracing a fact-based perspective that inspires optimism and action.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, make sure to like our video and subscribe to Just Listeners for more amazing audio content. Stay tuned for more captivating tales and melodies.